What's going on, Nation? What's going on? Getting situated here in a beautiful Saturday morning, Friday night, whichever you want to call it, wherever you are across the globe, up top, south, north, wherever you are. I see you. I respect you. Gonna crack a beer here, talk some sports, life, and really get in there. And gonna promote this on Twitter real quick. I know the following on YouTube is limited, and we want to get as much people in here for the conversation. We're gonna talk football, basketball, a little bit of life as it gets into the flow of what we're doing here. So, for those of you guys in here, I see zero live. That's a beautiful thing. As I always say, I'm great at talking to myself, so I will talk to the internet because the internet's a beautiful place. It's the interweb of the world, and it's a beautiful thing. So, I appreciate you guys clicking in, dominating with us. Chat is wide open. So, please comment in the chat if you're here and you're ready to dominate. And let me just retweet this real quick so we can get some people in the door. And I know it's Friday night, of course. I have very realistic expectations of these chats. I know this is not big time. I know people are out, hopefully having a great night, hopefully finding some beautiful people to hang out with. But I am here for you guys, and I love you guys so much. So cheers to you guys. First beer of the broadcast, Modelo. Cheers up, fears down. Let's fucking go. And for those of you guys who are in here, I encourage you to drop your comments in the chat. Let's open up a conversation. And I will just be retweeting this real quick as we get into the flow here. Was just talking to the gun about some projects, a bunch of stuff. We're trying to work with new personalities, new people. We're talking to the dude, I will say, the guy who we love so much, Junior Brown, about doing football commentary. And what's up, gentlemen? LVCC, my guy. What does LVCC stand for? Tell us that. I've always wondered that, actually. I thought Las Vegas, maybe not. What does that mean, my guy? Gator in the house. What up, brother? Just caught the new hat. Going to put it on for the broadcast. Beautiful, beautiful print. As far as I'm concerned, the Rose Bowl tournament, roses are for absolute dogs. Beautiful people. I appreciate you guys so much. Thieves by Law, what's up, brother? Neil in the house, what's up, my guy? Appreciate you, man. And as I said, just ordered a bunch of college football hats. I thought this one was particularly noteworthy. I just thought it was a beautiful print. And a couple other ones, which I don't have on me in this studio right now, but want to talk some sports, want to talk life, and just go the fuck in with you guys. And as I mentioned, I know, the demographic of people who we interact with, our conversation, Sharky Waters Nation, is very diverse, and I think that's a beautiful thing. I think there's people probably out right now. I know a couple of guys that interact with me in group chats are 25 years old. There's no way they'd ever be caught dead on a Saturday morning, Friday night at home like us. But we're the old guys now. We're 38, we're 40, we're 45, we're 100 years old, however old we are. We're hanging out in the house. We're taking care of business. So I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. 9 people in there. Let's fire up the conversation. Gonna take another sip and let's chat. Cheers to you guys. I don't know if you guys like Modelo. I just discovered this about 2 years ago. I'm a very domestic guy in terms of my light beers. And I've always drank, you guys know I drink Bud Light, Coors Light. It's very cliche, whatever. It's, the super autopilot. But I started to go into Modelo. I was in a group chat. I think somebody was talking about it. I forget who it was. I think it was either the Dean of the U, or I think it was actually the Dean of the U, my guy from Long Island or somewhere around there, Queens. He was saying, I love Modelo. And I was like, I'll try it. It's a great beer. So cheers to you guys on this. Let's fucking fire up. Thieves by Law 35. Heard that, bro. Heard that. I was there a couple of years ago. LVCC, my initials, Charlie C, 21 years old, or 21 years in Las Vegas. Now New York, my woman. My guy, bro. Cheers to you, bro. Same energy, bro. I was born in Manhattan. I grew up in the New Jersey area. You guys who have been following me now for close to 5 years know that I'm a New York guy at heart. I really am. I love New York City. I love the detail. I love the conversation, the energy. And I think that, it's one of those things that you cannot teach a person in life is how to live in close proximity to people, and just truthfully how much it makes you a really skilled human being in life. When I do shows and I work with a lot of guys, and one of the things that I really take away from is just the fact that people that have lived in cities, either born or moved to for a sustainable period of time, are just great with people. They're just great with people, and it's very natural and it's fun. And I will say this: I've lived in Florida now for 6 years. Florida is awesome. I love nature. I love being outside, the wilderness. But the one thing that being in a city for at least 25 years of my life did for me, it made me understand how awesome people are. And people are fucking awesome. And there's no way around that. So, whenever I say I love you guys, that is not some sort of marketing brand. I genuinely love human beings. I think people have great energy, great intention. I was around people in such close proximity for so long. I know people are not always winning in terms of their profit or what's going on, but people are winning every day when they wake up and they live their life in a positive direction. So I just think that it's just the baseline for the conversation of what I always try to bring to you guys. Just a beautiful thing. This life, this adventure we get to live together. West Point, love this week for me. Oh, really? Okay, for sure. I'm in there with you. Yeah, I didn't look at that game in detail. I know the gun always finds a beautiful way to jump off a play on those games, but I don't know about that game. And 10 people in the chat now are going to retweet this and see if we can get 20 people in here firing off on a suddenly not so casual Saturday morning, December the 9th. And just have a little wine, just taking a breath, stretching my back, wanted to just open up a conversation. And as I always say, I usually have about an hour in me here. So we're at the beginning of a nice little journey here. No pretense, no provocative points expected, but you never know where it could go. And I want to talk about the NFL slate. We're going to be doing an NFL show on Sunday morning at 10:30. That will be a week removed from our previous show. The Gun was up in Boston actually last week, hanging out with a couple legends. Who was it? It was Mark Zeno. I believe somebody Will Powers. I could be wrong on the first name there. I know he's a sharp ass dude. And Mark Zeno. I was on a call last weekend with these guys, and it was like 3 a.m. They were up in a hotel room in Boston. I called him. I was just saying what's up to the Gun, which I do for my guys. If ever you guys want to do work, as I always say, hit me up with a DM and we can do some shows. If you have quality, key point, if you have quality, not easy to do. But I hit up the Gun. He's in a hotel room hanging out with these guys, and we ended up shooting the shit about gambling Twitter and what's going on and just the whole showcase of gambling Twitter. And it really is a showcase at this point. It really is. And I got a DM from a guy the other day. I'll pull it up right now. I'm gonna give him a shout because I meant to respond to this guy and I didn't, and I felt bad because I didn't know what to say, and I was totally consumed by all my work and everything. But this guy, 2710 Tips. Let me give him a shout here. 2710 Tips says, "Hi, Shark. Been a follower for a while and a handicapper for a while, and I wrote a thread about engagement on gambling Twitter. Would be greatly appreciated if you give it a read and share your thoughts. No worries if not, mate. Best of luck tonight." And I went through his thread, and this guy I'm going to retweet it right now for this guy because I really connected with it. He was talking about how being a winning sports bettor is no longer a way to grow your channel. And it's really the unique environment of contemporary sports gambling. And I really connect with what he's saying. He said, "My page is at nearly 3,000 followers, which I'm proud of and took a lot to grow. But I found that my engagements are also dramatically down. Some posts getting no likes or anything for a page of my size is strange considering when I had less followers, I used to get 40 to 50 likes, et cetera, et cetera. My content isn't as good anymore. I don't believe that's the case. My content doesn't fit the algorithm. Could be the case. Gambling content as a whole is no longer pushed as it used to be. The gambling space has moved away from picks and results-based content. I believe there's old school people who can no longer be good handicappers and grow because of the way that the entertainment aspect of the space is going." And I do want to jump off that because I think my guy is onto something. And I will say this. He is not wrong. And I will say this. I had a conversation with Josh Punt School about 2 weeks ago, and Josh Punt School actually attacked me personally in a DM and said, "Shark, you are not a winning handicapper. You are about clout only, and you are trying to grow your channel for personal gain only. If those of you guys who follow Josh Punt School, literally, quote unquote, shark, you are not a winning bettor. You are a clout oriented person about personal ego, and you're trying to grow your channel for personal gain only. So for those of you guys who follow Josh and you follow that camp of people, just understand how misguided they are in their thoughts of what I do. All I do fundamentally is sell my soul to people for free, for free. So just imagine the insanity of the smearing campaign that goes on behind the Telegram and private accounts of Punt School and some of these other guys. The hate is immense, immense. And I will say this, I gave a shout to Josh Punt School on my show yesterday, and I gave him credential for doing a great show because I have no hate for people. I think this guy is talented, and I think he's very, very well credentialed in the industry. Listen, these guys want to shit on me and they want to talk shit behind closed doors, which they do that. But I will not do it, and I will only stand for meritocracy and objectivity. But I thought it was fascinating that he actually had the balls to say it to me and also be so inaccurate and falsifying reality. But it also reminds me as to why there's a lot of trolls, because I think that a lot of the trolls are guys like Josh who probably have secondary accounts, and these guys that are just really, really reaching to somehow, I would say, misrepresent guys like myself because of bizarre points that are not remotely factually accurate. And, staying course with this whole thing, the reason why I went on that little mini tangent right there is because this guy, 27 Tips, brought up a great point. Contemporary sports gambling is media centric. There's no way around it. It doesn't matter if you're the best clandestine backdoor gambler that lives in the middle of nowhere by yourself. People want to hear people that can talk, connect, communicate, and inspire. And if you can't do those four things, you're going to become obsolete because money is eyeballs. Money is not backdoor gambling. And I will say that it is backdoor gambling because I can do that. I can sit behind the screens and click numbers and click things and host a Telegram account and private community and all this stuff. But the blessing is the conversation and the energy. And I think that's probably where the jealousy exists. That's why I'm getting these pretty aggressive remarks from guys like Josh, because I think there's jealousy there because they realize they're becoming obsolete in the industry because they're just really not doing that in a professional format. And I think that it really is the core-centric aspect as to how to grow your channel in this industry right now. It has to be some sort of content. Thieves by law, my guy says, people want to be entertained. Murray248, a suddenly not so casual Saturday morning. You're absolutely correct. It is so much bigger than just picks. And when I first started doing sports media in Sharky Waters Nation in 2018 in the fall, I had no experience. I didn't go to communication school. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. What I did know was one thing: people connect with good conversation. And I had always been out in bars, hanging out, shooting the shit. And I said to myself, let me see what happens here. Very experimental. I clicked the video. I started talking about NBA. And I just started talking. And it flowed and it grew. And the whole thing grew as a project. But the baseline of it was conversation and connection. And of course, we've all profited hundreds of units through the process in the last 5 years. But it's conversation and connection. And I think people need to realize that. And going back to my guy, 27 Tips, who had this, I believe, 10-thread diatribe on Twitter about how he's not growing anymore. Old school gambling Twitter, where you're just giving out picks to win, it's fine. You're going to be a great person. You're profitable. You're highly intelligent. But you're not going to grow because growth now is enterprise. It's media. And sports gambling is media. ESPN just launched a sports book. I don't need to be any more hyperbolized than that. They are owning a sports book now. Sports media is sports betting. If you're not doing content, you are rendering yourself fairly obsolete. So just a comment on that. And now I'm going to have a sip of this glorious beverage. Scott Foster in the house. What's up, brother? No doubt. Murray 248, no doubt. 100%. I know. I think you're using a little satire with the exclamation mark there. We all know, particularly for numerous personalities, the record does not matter, and it really is a growth point. You know, the money is in content. There's no way around. The money is in content, without question, without question. And you know, I will never sacrifice my work and the win rate that I put forth for content, but I will do content to make money because I'd be doing myself a personal disservice if I was not doing it. It would be completely ridiculous if I was not doing it. In fact, I didn't get paid for content for 3.5 years. And people that I worked with were getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for the same content that I was putting on record for free. So just a point for those of you guys who are enlightening yourselves as to the interworkings of gambling Twitter. I was doing work for free for 3.5 years, and guys that I was working with were getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in that period of time, which is why they were in sports books with stacks of cash, tens and $20,000, because they were getting paid for shows, not because they were winning huge amounts. Just keep that really, really clean. And as I was making money for people with profitability in sports betting, guys that I was working with were cashing checks from sports books and enterprise, therefore acting like they had stacks of cash, just saying the absolute truth. And I think that's where it was always going to implode with those personalities, because they never wanted to really do it the way I do it, which is deep research, formatted picks, conversational picks, and quality of content. It got to a point where it was just, we're trying to rush through broadcasts to cash checks from enterprise, external to ourselves. And I've always formatted my life this direction. The enterprise is us. It's me. It's what I do. If I'm not putting out my best product, I don't want to be paid for it. And I think a lot of guys in this industry are cashing checks without any sort of preparation, any sort of work, and really half-assing what they're getting paid for. And I'm not naming any names here, but it's across the industry. There's not a lot of detailed information. There's not a lot of noticeable work behind the commentary. And it's just a fact. Guys will cash checks if they're able to, even if it's theoretically exploitative to the market, because there's not a lot of quality behind that. And, you know, what I do, what I've always done is one firm thing that stems to the external, sourcing information as a point of conversation. It's what I do as a life point. It's how I live my life. I don't live my life loosely, arbitrarily, nonsensically. Everything I do is intentional and sourced in deep data-based information. So that's what you get from me, guys. You get the top quality of information I'm capable of. And I love you guys for taking the time to connect with it over the course of the past 5 years. And my guy Raul, appreciate you immensely, my guy. Appreciate you immensely, boy. You a fucking bro. You guys are top dogs in the chat, man. Murray in the house, LBCC. We got 12 in the house, guys. If you're not in the chat, drop comments. Just say what's up. If you're not a familiar guy in the chat, that's fine. We love you. It's open season for new conversation. And gonna take a sip, guys. Just enjoying this Modelo for those of you guys who just joined. Great beverage. Cheers up, fears down. Precisely. And, you know, it's, you know, one of the things that you know, people used to say about me was that I was a hater. Trust me, guys, I'm not a hater. I'm a lover. I'm a lover at the highest level. I love human beings. I love people. What I don't love is people that are manipulating people out of actual love. And that's a key point. People that scam, people that misrepresent, which there are a lot of guys, by calling them out and saying the truth, you are not a hater, you're a lover because you're telling them you are disrupting real human life by your small window chase for financial gain. And that's what you see so much in gambling Twitter. You see guys who, again, we love them, they're human beings. We love them and their chase. We don't love the way that they are making money by misrepresenting quality to exploit other people financially. And that's a crucial, crucial point. Crucial point. And when I called out guys last summer, actually, it was 2000, actually, the summer before, the summer of 2022, I called out some guys. And I never called out guys on the baseline that I dislike you, I think you're a bad person, whatever they wanted to say. I called guys out because they were promoting book friendly wagers. They were promoting parlays and they were promoting bets that were going to lose people money. And it just goes back to what I just said. If you love life, you're not hating a person by telling them that they're giving people misinformation that makes life worse. That's all I was doing. I was just calling out misinformation. But of course, those who provide misinformation will get their back up very quickly and get pissed off. So that's where things sparked. And I think that's where everything really kind of got a little bit heavy in the previous channel because I really kind of pushed a little bit further than I was used to, which I'm capable of doing. I just didn't do it before. And people, people that, as I said, spread misinformation, they're the first ones that they're going to try to probably cancel you on the back end, which is what happened. And, I firmly believe if I hadn't called out guys in the summer for the bullshit they were pulling, I probably wouldn't have had that channel pulled in October. So I think that I kind of, got into the web of chaos of the people that are exploitative and, spreading misinformation. And it came back to me. But that's almost like the political game. It's the world we live in. You push a button of the anger pushes back and they try to ruin you. So it kind of spiraled like that. But, the more I think about it from the standpoint of, a year and a half removed from that channel, I do think about that summer when I started to push buttons a little bit more. Again, I was never lying. I wasn't wrong. I was telling the truth. But those guys, if they're spreading that bullshit, they need to hide their bullshit and they need to take you down. So I think a lot of those guys tried to take me down, and that's what happened. I called them out for their shit and they tried to take me down. Super interesting, really. Super interesting. Like where you could be a good person, you call out the criminals, and then the criminals go out of their way to take you down and you get taken down. It's kind of sick, actually. Really sick. Really sick. Really sick. 15 guys in the house. Appreciate you guys. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Pierce the weather. What's up, brother? My guy. 100%, bro. You talking real talk, no doubt. Kelly Vincenzo, what's up? What's going on, girl? Appreciate you so much. As a female in the industry, your passion is impeccable. Your commentary is impeccable. I appreciate you so much. Just want to give you a shout. Really appreciate you. We can do some content if you want. Anytime you want to come on, just shoot the shit. Tell us what you're thinking about a game. Just shoot me a DM. We'll bring you on. We have absolutely total open adventure on that. I would love to host you if you ever want to come on there for any sort of commentary. Absolutely, for sure. This is the thing. Like, I love to bring people on. I love to bring people on for commentary. Even when Jay Money and I started the show, Emal's in the house. My guy, he's been following us for 4.5 years here. One of the things when we first started doing, we always try to bring people on. We want to bring abundance. That's the crazy thing. That when everything got hostile, it's always about abundance, but sometimes the abundance goes down a kind of a backdoor hallway for a minute when there's a lot of misinformation being spread, and the good guys get kind of sucked into the bad guys' bullshit, and then they get pulled into the nonsense. But that was pretty much the baseline of what was going on there. It was really just the good guys getting pulled into the bullshit to try to help the industry and call out the nonsense. And it's going to end up in the right direction because it always will. When you put good energy into something, it always will come back to bring you that point. So I have no regret, but I do think that it was interesting for me as a person to experience that level of chaos for the first time in my professional life in this industry. I know now I know now. You go down the back streets with the dirty dogs, if you want to call it like that. They're gonna bullshit with you, and they're gonna they're gonna fight back, and they're gonna try to hurt you. So it is what it is. 100%, 100%. Yeah, and I mean, you got. I'm sure you guys follow a lot of cappers more than I do. I mean, it's one of those things, kind of like a player in the NBA. You kind of you get in your own shit. And especially after things went a little bit awry and catastrophic for me last year, I have become more insular. I have gone back into my own personal camp a little bit more, which I can't say I love. I think my best self is definitely more outward and communicative to you guys. But I think after what happened last year, I had to come back into my camp myself and just take a break and really reset myself and recalibrate. But my best self is 100% with you guys, conversationally, doing shows like this 3 or 4 nights a week, drinking beers, playing music. That's who I am as a person. Outside of the commentary professionally on shows and who I am professionally, I'm a life lover. I'm a human being. I love to interact with people. So I think that last year really took a lot of the personality away from the channel as it's currently constructed, because you guys know Sharky Waters Nation Part 1 had a ton of personality. And that's who I am as a person. I have a ton of personality. I'm incredibly emotional. I care so much. I'm deeply thoughtful about all sorts of different topics. I'm willing to really explore all different topics in life, whatever it is. And I'm just getting back into that scope. I'm getting back into that comfortability where it was really just a point of change for me, where I had to really adjust and I had to really understand that sometimes you're going to interact with the wrong people, and they're going to really try to ruin you in almost a criminal aspect. And to bounce back from that is difficult. So I'm working, and it's a beautiful thing to have this conversation with you guys. Yeah, and Raul, one of the things about Twitter and X, obviously, they don't allow a live chat feature on the Twitter lives anymore. So I was on there last week, and I was sitting there playing music, and nobody could really like interact, and I was kind of just like looking at myself playing music, and like I was just like flowing through it kind of for posterity's sake. I watched the video back. I mean, I was sitting there, I was drinking wine, my lips were red, I looked like a freaking idiot. Like, trust me, guys, I know people watch that, they're like, look at Shark, he's a freaking. I have self-awareness. I know, like I'm fully aware of that. But I was just fucking around. Like, I was just like, nobody can hear this shit, nobody can chat, like, just for posterity's sake. Like, let's just fucking ride some jams and just fucking hang out. So, but it's unfortunate that there's no chat feature on that app anymore, because some of those chats have been, I mean, detailed analysis of sociology, philosophy, psychology, sports betting, all different perspectives. 100%, 100%. And I would take a sip of this one, guys. Great chat developing here. 22 people in the chat. Drop your comments in here if you're in here, and just say what's up to us. We're all hanging out. We appreciate the commentary. This is open forum for conversation here on a Saturday morning on the East Coast. I know it's still Friday night over there on the West Coast and across the world, all different time zones. Appreciate you guys so much. Oh, okay. Emal, is that what's going on to so people can only communicate in chats if they're subscribed? Is that what it is? It's only for paid. So basically, there's no chat anymore. There's no chat. And I think Elon Musk, as much of an entrepreneurial genius he is across different endeavors, his communication is not his best skill, and that's fine. Let it be what it is. But he's missing the boat there, 100%, 100%, because the beauty of those conversations was just the flow and the fan base and the group conversation, just really going in and out. Like, I remember even going back, a year ago, we'd have 50 people in there, 75, 100 people in there, just asking questions, flowing through it, and just, over the screen, just flying off. And just, it was a really good conversation, the whole thing. So it is what it is. But it's unfortunate, because this is just the way of the world. Technology changes every 2 seconds. There's new owners, there's new templates, there's new psychological points within the brand, new desire points, and we just never know what's going to happen with technology. We're definitely a bit prisoner to it, unfortunately, and it's hard to forecast where these apps are going to go. Unfortunately, really. Kelly says you place bets and are kind to us to share. Oh, I appreciate you saying that, Kelly. You're a great person. I appreciate you saying that. It's not a lot of people are willing to say that because it's really the truth. It's just it's a huge grind to do it publicly. There's no way around it. Like even tonight, I went 4-4 over 8 games in the NBA, and if you went through those 8 games, I would say there was one game we had no control over. I think Memphis had no chance. I think Memphis kind of sucked. So if there's 8 games, one of them is just a loss. Like I don't think Memphis, you can argue, was really in competition to win that game, but all the other games were kind of just in this middle ground of could win, could lose. Some were a little bit more in control than others. To go 4-4, obviously you come out on a 500 point there, but you could argue that there were at least 1 or 2 winners that didn't win. And I think it's just been kind of a snapshot of this season for us so far. Like if you really go card by card since the beginning of October or middle of October, there's just been a lot of tight window outcomes that just a lot of variance, a lot of things that just didn't play out right. Just kind of just grinding through it. And, truthfully, like I know people had huge expectations coming off a 110 unit season 2 years ago. Of course, last year was catastrophic and it is what it is, but it's just contemporary NBA, like you're really in a unique environment where you're just at such a mercy point to the shot percentage quality of the teams because there's certain games like the Knicks tonight where you just watch games where a team loses by 10 on a +7. It's 3 points. And you realize you're literally just, it's one bucket left or right that really determines the spread. And it's not so much that either side was right or wrong. You're betting variance. And it's just contemporary NBA because these guys just shoot so many shots. They shoot so many threes. There's just a high level volatility to the sport. So it's just tough. There's no way around it. It's tough. And we're going to get in there. I firmly believe we're going to show significant profit this season. I just know that it's going to come as we go through the process and play more plays. 8 plays tonight for me was huge, obviously. I will say this. I haven't said this on record yet, but I do want to make this point. Over Thanksgiving, there was a game that we played with Orlando Moneyline against, I believe it was the Raptors at home. This is the life of betting, and it's the life of betting publicly through holidays and just the insanity of how samples just come and go, and you don't know when they're going to come and go. So that Orlando game, I was out at a bar with my brother, Jeff. I'm sure you guys know him, Old Man Who Bets. I purely, just as a human being, was trying to socialize with my brother. So I did not bet the trifecta. I just bet the game. I actually told multiple people before that game, this is a trifecta spot. It hit. So my public win rate shows 1 win. Multiple people cashed the trifecta. I'm sitting at the bar with my brother. I'm only on the game. And I said, this trifecta is going to hit. I just don't want to fuck with too much variance with you. He's like, bro, you should have hit that. I was like, I don't like to bet too much when I'm with family. Sure enough, the trifecta hits. So we get a little drunk that night. The next day, Oklahoma City was hosting Chicago. I said to my brother, Oklahoma City is going to smash Chicago. They did. We didn't play it. We came back that Friday after the break. This is when Chicago was horrendous in the first half. I told my brother trifecta Toronto. We didn't play it. That Sunday, I told my brother Brooklyn against Chicago. Didn't play it. I was so tilted off this entire situation over Thanksgiving, not playing like 10 winners. We come back on Tuesday. I didn't post Toronto first half and first quarter against Phoenix because I was so annoyed at the whole situation. And then I recapped it and people started trolling me and calling me a clown. That night alone, we left off 7 winners. We had the Pelicans privately to beat the Sixers. We had the Magic trifecta at home, and we had Denver trifecta at home. And there was another night after that before I got my shit together publicly. We basically left off 15 to 20 winners because of Thanksgiving. So just so you guys know, this is not some sort of mediocre campaign we're running here. Behind closed doors, winners are abundant. And that's why I put out 8 plays tonight, because I said People need to know we're not fucking around and we're not fearful. We're not fearful because all Thanksgiving, all the shit hit. All the teams were smoking opponents. And I just want people to be clear on that. We're going to play all the top spots, but it's just the nature of sports betting. Sometimes the best markets happen to come during the holidays. And it's just hard to gamble on that, especially when you're doing it professionally with large amounts of money. I'm betting significant money on these games. I fundamentally cannot have Thanksgiving dinner and my brother and his girlfriend hanging out with me if I'm sweating $3,000 on a game. I just can't do it. This is the insanity of sports betting. It's just the insanity of the lifestyle endeavor of it, is that you can never predict when the best games are coming. Sometimes they're going to come on the least desirable days from a lifestyle perspective. So just a snapshot on that, guys. We have been absolutely smoking the analytics. The best window happened to come over Thanksgiving this season. And if we were in there, we were robots, we'd be up 15 units during that window. Just an absolute fact. And Alan Sanchez, bro, you're a troll. I love you, but come on, bro. Come on, bro. You think everybody's lying? I already muted you because you said I bought followers on Twitter. So you're a liar on that because I don't buy followers on Twitter. People actually market on my channel because I have huge conversation because I'm a very, very abundant human being. So just speaking to my guy Alan here, who is a very cynical human being, I will define cynicism yet again on this channel. Cynicism, the assumption everybody is lying for personal gain. Alan is a cynicist. He thinks everybody's lying for personal gain. We bless him with abundance, but I don't buy followers. People market on my channel because I come on here unregulated for hours and talk to people. I'm a unique energy. I love you guys. Reminder, don't be cynical. Take control of your life. Go work out. Be better. Realist is an excuse for negative energy. And I will tell you that. I will tell you that, brother. Realism is the assertion that cynicism is the real life, that everybody's out to get you. So whatever your vision is through your lens, what Alan sees here, he sees everybody out to get him, everybody manipulating. And I'm sorry you saw that live, brother. I'm sorry you saw that live, my guy. Sorry. Like, you don't have to see that live, but you did. So I'm sorry, and I'm genuinely sorry, bro. It's not like that. And also shit talking my narcissism. Homeboy, cheers to you, bro. You a dog. And that's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. These guys that want to shit talk me, I'll sit here and just let them flow because it's just a beautiful thing when people come out of nowhere and just shit talk like that. Yeah, I see the soul of anger, and I just it makes me sad because I care about people so much. I really care about people so much, and I see a person from birth to now through like this process of people trying to cut them down and like just this clickiness and this isolation and like this competition for small window gains and like how it makes people cynical. It's like this deep degradation of self. And like people just aren't by default cynical and angry and thinking that the world is it's process of this degradation over and over and over. I just feel bad. I really feel bad. I feel bad that people have to experience that, but I know 85% of the world experiences that. Really. And instead of understanding that taking personal control and really getting into a personal point of happiness through deep breath work and fitness and hydration and sleep and just feeling good about yourself, they think anybody who feels good about themselves is a narcissist. And it's mind-blowing because it's a total externalization of an internal nothingness. But the point is that people aren't born like that. People are born with happiness within them, but the world brings them down, unfortunately. So I just want to make that point. And that's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah. I didn't realize this guy was such a troll, actually. Really. This is probably Mikey from Los Angeles, actually. Mikey, hope you're good, bro. Hope go sit in your fucking Camry and do some more shit talk videos. Real dogs. Go do some more fucking shit talk videos in your Camry, bro. And You know, these guys that say they haven't bet or don't do this, they have no fucking clue who I am. No fucking clue. No fucking clue. It's an absolute smear campaign. I appreciate the guys with the smear campaign. There's no reason for me to show my monetary and financial records to you guys. There's no reason. It's personal. It's not even remotely within the question of what we should be doing in this channel. So if you want to show your financial records, please do. Please do. Put your financial records. I would say even better, put your face on screen. Put your face on screen first. Love you, bro. Big dogs. I do think it is probably Mikey though, because I know Mikey's kind of an angry guy from LA or something. Boston kid, Bruins fan. He's been shit talking me for like 2 years, so it's probably Mikey. Mikey's just a dog. We love him. We love him anyway. Yeah, it's probably Mikey. He's a shit talker. We love him though. I mean, I know he's a dog, but it's all good. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Alan Sanchez is a good name, and also again, like when Alan Sanchez said the when he said I bought followers, that's why I had people commenting on my Twitter. I knew the guy was completely just a miserable dude because the only reason people market on my channel is because I have a running conversation with people and I love people. So just as a point of reference, if you want to run a channel well, Alan or Mikey, have a conversation with people. It's positive. It feels good. It feels good. It's not some angry nonsense that you need to isolate and just be ridiculous. And the insanity of the comment that I bought followers, I had a 41,000 person network that was pulled from me because I randomly snapped at some guy. And then I built back up to 15,000 in a year from scratch because of no other reason than I love people and I talk to people on a daily basis. It's just a fundamental fact. If you want to build a channel, talk to people. Just be a good person. That's it. People want to engage with good people who really care about life. And that's it. It's a very fundamental baseline point. And that's the insanity of the whole situation. It really is. Hold on, let me get this guy out of here. We're only blocking you because you're a smear campaign and you're a liar. It's not. We're not like hiding the truth. You're just an angry guy that's annoying and contaminating and won't change. So we send you good vibes, but we're out. You're out. All right, we're out on that guy. Apparently, I do think it's Mikey though. Mikey's been kind of a tyrant for a while. Um, just so unnecessary. So unnecessary. Um, yeah, I just blocked him. I think I just blocked him. But it just relentless, just relentless. Like, and also the thing that I noticed about Mikey is that like he is one of those guys. He's like a politician that will just say things totally unbacked by data that he just thinks will like cause a stir. Like to actually say that I bought followers to get to 41K is a certifiable lie. It's a lie. To say that I bought followers to get back to 10K is also a complete lie. So like these guys are just literally smear campaigns and they say they're in the name of like helping people and all this. They're literally internet thought criminals. And it's like, I got no time for it. It's just wild. Just wild. Yeah, 100%. 100%. But I do think it's this kid Mikey. He's just kind of like this miserable capper from LA and just wild that people are that angry, really. Rocco Fanchetti in the house. What up, brother? Late nights in the garage. Oh, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. NCAA football Saturday under. Is there a game today? Oh, is that the Army Navy game? Let me look at that real quick. Sorry for the distraction, guys. Just always trying to engage. You know, the even the nonsense. I do engage it. I think to a certain degree because I see the deep misery of a person trying to come at like good people. And I want to stand up for good people, and I do think that I think that our channel stands up for good people. You know, it's just good people in the industry. It's good people. It's good conversation. So I just want to tell people like stop creating false narratives. That stop lying about things to try to build up fake brands and whatever. Um, Let me just pull up this college knowledge for college. The Army here. Oh my God, Kelly, you pulled me into the Army game. Oh my God. I got a glass of wine here. I'm going to take a sip before we get into a little football talk here. Oh man, I got to take a breath on this one. Talk about the grease fire special here. The misery of that. This is being played at Gillette Stadium, apparently. I didn't realize that. You know, Bob Kraft is such a great politician himself. Like the guy's fraternizing with Meek Mill. He gets him out of jail. He's at the big July 4th white party in the Hamptons with Michael Rubin. Now he's hosting the Army Navy game. He's playing every side of the aisle. Is Bob Kraft going to run for president in the next election? This guy is incredibly presidential. I mean, he just plays every single side of all angles politically here. But that is interesting that it's up in Patriots Stadium up there in Foxborough because Kraft is just a politician. I'm going to take a sip of red here, guys. Just cop the nice little bottle here. Ziggy Balls in the house. What's up, brother? Appreciate it, my guy. Kelly, I think it's a very interesting point. I think when you look at these very low totals throughout the season, obviously, I think the most noteworthy one that comes to mind is Iowa in the Big Ten, just constantly deflating week after week. Teams that can't score in the Big Ten, particularly Iowa, and it gets to a point where it's just capped. And I got to be honest with you guys. Like, I'm not in love with this whole idea of just always, like capping the market in a certain way. But it is very real. Like when you look at basketball, you look at NBA basketball with some of these teams that are just like run and gun and scoring the basketball at an incredibly high rate, like the Pacers. You saw the game the other night against the Bucks. The total got up to the highest of the season. It was 257.5 at one point, and it went under. So the point is, eventually, as you scale up in a market or you scale down in a market, it caps and it comes back up where you do actually have exploitability on the number. And it's not so much line functionality, it's actually market cap. And I just think that with this line at 28.5, you're at the market cap. And I think that they're never going to go under in this matchup 26, 24. You're hovering in that zone. And of course, like the flow of the game is going to be so methodical, so run oriented. It's going to be kind of just like a gamble spot if we're being super honest. Like I don't really know, honestly. I really don't know if I'm being honest with you. What do you guys think? If you have any plays, please drop a play. If you have an official, if you have actually, if you bet on a side, even if it's a quarter unit or whatever. Army teammate died this year, dedicated the season to him. Too bad, losses twice. Another team, Army side. The emotion could be there. I could see that. I could see the emotion. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I know Navy has been relatively competitive for the last couple years. Army, obviously, also competitive. Very spot specific, though. Again, like very matchup oriented as to who functions well or not versus their run attack and the whole situation. I don't know. I wish I knew. I really don't know. I really don't know. I think that when you see Army favored, I think that naturally, like I'm a contrarian favorite better where if I see a team that I think is not necessarily better, but they're favored, I would lean towards that direction. Philly, Liverpool in the house. What up, brother? Cheers, boss. Just had a little bottle of red here. Get into it. Yeah, Ziggy Ball is 100%. You're right on it. You're right on it. It's just that market cap. The under is the right side. There's not going to be a lot of points in the game, but you get to a certain point where it's so over adjusted to that point in the market where it becomes unbettable, and there's a certain buyback effect on the other side of it. So I just think it's tough. I really think it's tough. I just think that you're going to be gambling on it. And Emal says, Shark, would you recommend locking in Pacers +4? Segueing into the NBA, because I do think this particular college football game is very, very difficult. I think that there's just not a lot of transparency. We were talking about this on the BetUS show earlier. I have not gone into numerical detail on this. I will say this is not official commentary. This is just loose commentary here on a Saturday morning. But I do think the Pacers have certainly more motivational angle to this game. I think they care way more. Kelly says Air Force to head the player. Okay, for sure. Noted. Kelly corrected her information. We will put that on record. So there is not a death in the Army camp, which would be motivational. 100%. Noted for sure. But speaking of the NBA game, I think that theoretically the Pacers have more motivation. They've been very, very inspired throughout the entire tournament. Their celebrations were, huge theoretically for an early season tournament. But they haven't won anything. They're a young team. Rick Carlisle, I don't know the guy. I haven't really studied his psychology. I can't say I've listened to his quotes as much as the average person, probably in the Dallas market now, Indiana and Dallas market have. But just in general, I think that you want to back the Pacers because I think they just blanketly are playing better ball right now, and I think their resume is a lot better. I was talking about this before, but if you really go through who the Lakers have beaten in this in-season tournament, it's not, you don't want to say unimpressive, but it's fairly unimpressive. They beat Utah by margin at home. You guys know Utah is not very good on the road, so how good are the Lakers there? Not so good. They beat Portland on the road. Portland's not good at home, so also not really representative. They did win another home game against Memphis. Memphis, obviously, without Ja Morant, has been very, very below average. They beat Phoenix twice. Phoenix has been moving parts around. Durant's been playing some games. Beal's been playing no games. Booker's been in and out of the lineup. Just some kind of work in progress. So if you look at the Lakers really haven't beaten anybody. And the Pacers have beaten Milwaukee. They've beaten the Celtics. They've beaten the Sixers and the Hawks. So I think when you're looking at it, I think that unequivocally based on as you would format a resume, the Pacers are the side here. And I think that's probably the right side. Without question. My guy, Mr. Neasy TV says, do you play NFL anymore? Absolutely. We went 4-0 last week, bro. We're fully engaged. Not sure why you would say anymore, but we are fully engaged. Booked the Ravens on Tuesday morning at -7. That's up to -7.5 now. That is a pure fade of the Rams situational analysis. The Rams are very good against non-playoff teams. They are very poor against playoff teams. And the Ravens are very good at home against the NFC. I think very noteworthy. Absolute blowout against the Lions a couple weeks ago, 38-6. I think the Rams are capped in the environment. I think you want to buy the Ravens. I know it's probably chalk, a little public, but I think it's a hammer spot. Couple other moves that I'm making. I've already taken the Chargers. I love the Chargers. Just continue their upward movement. Chargers are just a statistical anomaly the whole season, just losing games one possession after one possession. And it's just it becomes a really statistical oriented buy where you start to see just a team is not supposed to lose 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games in a row by one possession. And I think Denver is also far too hot. Really, I think they're far too hot. I believe they were a dub 5 straight up before last week. and they're just a little too hot. So I think situational buy, double revenge game actually, and the numbers on it. I think the Chargers get there. You're getting a 2.5 number now. That could be a 3-point game, but get that 2.5 and you cover that spread. I think it's a really, really good spot. Emal says Rams are not a great cold weather team either. 100%. Horrible spot for the Rams this week, without question. Horrible spot. And we've been on the Rams this year quite a bit. Some divisional games, some out of division games, gotten them right almost every single week. Haven't really placed a lot of wagers on the Ravens because the Ravens have been inflated in some spots and a little bit sketchy in some spots. I really think the Ravens take care of business here by double digits this weekend. The other one I'm going to be betting on Sunday, and I'm just looking for the line to see where it goes. We're going to be betting the San Francisco 49ers against the Seahawks. The Niners just are unequivocally a bye team, and this is just a unit. There's no way around it. And when you look at the Seahawks resume is very poor, very, very poor. The Seahawks have really not beaten anybody of quality, and the Seahawks are just purely cratering down to where they were supposed to be, which was like 2 or 3 games under 500. And when you look at where the Niners are, the Niners are just purely in just like an annihilation zone. They know they can't lose games. They want to get the 1 seed. The line is at 10.5. This is graded for my scaling to be a 14-point win at minimum. I think that it's just an absolute hammer. And I think that, NFL football is very much situational analysis as opposed to contrarian or public. And situationally, Seattle is just not performing well against the Niners at all, sustainably with Geno Smith. It's not going any other direction. That's why the line is so heavy and open. It's also getting steamed up. Buy this at 10.5. They should win the game by 14. And the last play I will be dropping on Sunday, we're going to keep that under wraps. So you guys will check out the Sunday show, The Shark and the Gun, and the odds fellow will be in there. But another one in the division, a lot of information, and we're going to keep the upward movement going. And just a small snapshot, as I mentioned, my guy said, do you play NFL anymore? I just want to make this point. Please follow on Twitter. Please follow on Twitter because it's Sharks and Sports 88 because I'm putting out plays every single day. We got 8 bowl plays. We're already posting 3 NFL plays. Last week we went 4-0 on the NFL. I understand some people don't like Twitter. I get it. It is what it is. It's life. Maybe make a Twitter, follow it up, and follow what's going on because you don't want to be missing out on top plays that are the deep analysis just because you just don't like Twitter for some reason. So just keep that in mind in terms of what you're doing in your life because there's no way you could ever make that comment if you were following on Twitter. So just love and respect, but make a Twitter, follow, you get the information. Twitter is a very informational channel. And I know there's a lot of people that don't like Twitter. I get it. Elon Musk, prior owners, very politicized. I get it. But information comes from me on Twitter. So Shark and Sports 88, follow on that if you get a chance. Ziggy Balls, I would say this. Love and respect, but you love the letdown game. Like, it's almost like automatic with you. Like, you always think a team's going to let down. And you always think if a team sucks, they're going to turn up. Sports betting is not so much automatically the reversal from the previous week. It's a great idea. It's sharp. It is contrarian, but it's not just that simple. And I think when you really look at the Niners do hammer the Seahawks, and the NFC West is very much team versus team. Cardinals play teams' ways. Rams play teams' ways. Niners, Seahawks, they play teams very similarly game after game. Niners own the Seahawks. And if you look at the Seahawks, again, all their wins are not impressive. And people might say impressive win at the Lions, but a really key point. They beat the Lions last year on the road too, also in a high-scoring game late. So the Lions don't match up well with the Seahawks. The Niners are just in a hammer zone. So just keep that in mind. And I always speak from my own existence where I went from being super Joe Public to super contrarian, where I always thought was an auto bounce back. And now I try to middle it at all points in time and really try to articulate the psychology of the environment as to what's going to go on. So I would say just in general, don't necessarily always think that it's a letdown because they won or because they lost. It's a bounce back. That in and of itself is not highly informationally backed. It's a little loose. So just a point on that. Yeah. But again, this is professional football. They get a week. They get a week off. They get a week off. The whole travel, therefore flat thing, that's much more NBA basketball because they play back-to-back days. It's a lot more close proximity fatigue and travel. It's a totally different environment. It really is. Just keep that in mind. And Ziggy, you're the man. I appreciate your picks always, but just keep that in mind. The psychology of it and the energy of it is totally different in NFL football. I think the Niners will be really turned up here. They've been back home for 4.5 days in their house practicing. Divisional opponent, matched up schematically well, far better coach. Kyle Shanahan is, in my opinion, a very elite level of analytical coach. He knows the scheme that's coming. They're going to just own this team schematically and physically. This is probably a 14-point win on average. And as I said, one more play will drop on Sunday morning. And gonna wrap it up with that, guys. I appreciate you guys so much. 1 hour in the books. Just always try to aim for an hour on these chats. Just conversation, the flow of life, and sending you guys all the best vibes. Saturday morning on the East Coast. I know it's still Friday on the West Coast. Beginning of a beautiful Saturday for you guys across the globe. Saturdays are for sending, and I appreciate you guys so much. Conversation wins. It is Sharky Waters Nation. 9 words of lifestyle. Ride the wave. Get out of the water. Let's go, guys. I fucking love you guys. Let's go.